I'm watching various YouTube videos about people living with disability, and I think the only thing I could probably really do in my life is get into disability advocacy of some sort. It's fairly depressing when I watch these different things. You know, as early as like 50, 100 years ago, I personally would have been just killed. Literally, it wouldn't even be seen as murder. I would be put in an institution and they would kill me. The American Horror Story Asylum was based off a true story. People don't want to admit that, but it's what's actually happened. Is people with mental illness and physical disability would be put into an institution or an asylum and literally experimented on. You know, in the world today, there's a lot of discussion about race, which I involve myself in. I have always really enjoyed different cultures and ethnicities and traditions and religions and different backgrounds, recent or throughout ancient history, and I just found them amazing things. And I could never figure out, like, well, what did the disabled people do? There's never anything, you don't see, like, what disabled people achieved throughout time, and it's because disabled people haven't achieved anything throughout time. Disabled people were murdered for being disabled. People with mental illnesses or physical disabilities were seen as having the devil within them, and they would have it beaten out. You can find documentaries now about institutions, and seriously, that my grandmother, she grew up over in Belgium, and in the time that she was growing up over there were institutions that, just shove the child in, never see them again, ever. So it helps me understand why my grandmother doesn't look at me and see a burden, because she actually had some sort of understanding of the things that went on. So as early as 150 to, just 50 years ago, I wouldn't have had a life whatsoever. I never understood where the people in history who had such and such a disease and also contributed this, well, no. Because as a child, they were shoved into an institution and never seen again. Boiled alive in hydrotherapy tubs and things like that. So it's really disgusting to think that my life of sitting around basically wanting to die every time I wake up because I'm in just such severe pain. I mean, it's terrible. I thought I was joking about it at first. Oh, I don't want my left hand. Well, it's becoming more pervasive. I've started having fantasies of chopping off my left arm. That's not good. But that's the severity of the pain, is I feel like just taking everything from here and making it go away forever would be helpful to my pain. And that's not something I should think of. And yet that's, a thought in my head. The fact of my lifestyle being sitting around feeling like a burden upon everyone else, feeling as if I will never be a productive, contributing member of society, feeling as if other people are going to have to take care of me forever. This is a vast improvement. That's just fucked up. I don't know how to deal with this, because I honestly didn't know a lot of how people with mental and physical disabilities were treated throughout time. And it's not good. I feel like I'm bitching and complaining about my lack of quality of life when 50 years ago I simply wouldn't have had a life. But at the same time, how do I curb the depression of feeling like a waste of a life? How do I get my mind away from what's been beaten into my head over time, that I'm just a drain on society, welfare mooch, societal leech, just sucking the blood out of from the taxpayers and never contributing of my own accord, never somehow improving things and a life around me. And I don't know, but at this point, I think, looking into how to, become some sort of disability advocate or work in some sort of disability advocacy group, something like that, like, that's the only thing that I can do, I'll be able to do, will have any chance of going anywhere. Because when it comes to work, people aren't willing to work with me. In my old jobs, I would get yelled at constantly for sitting down, for resting. I don't understand it. When I look around, to me, it's like other people have this amazing, unlimited, vast amount of just energy and strength and endurance and stamina. When I look around, it feels to me like everyone else is, like, if you think of people as an electronic device, and we all have batteries, I look around and people have, like, high grade, expensive, huge, rechargeable batteries. And I've got dollar store batteries that are already leaking, that someone's wrapped electrical tape around to try and prevent the battery acid from leaking out. To me, the average person is like a god. I can't imagine having that sort of ability, even though I don't look disabled on first glance because of just the severe pain throughout my body, because of the arthritis or whatever it is that causes my hands to lock up, whatever it is that causes my lack of dexterity, so that just anything I do is difficult. I love building things, but trying to get the screwdriver tip against the actual screw can sometimes, I'll stab my own hand 5-6 times before I get it aimed properly. I even have instances where I'll go to put a glass down on a surface and it looks like I put it where I put it, but it's actually like an inch or two over, and I put it on top of something and it's knocked over. If I knock something over and I go turn around to pick it up, I've now knocked over something else behind me, because I can't really feel where my body is in correlation to the rest of the space, and between dexterity and a lack of depth perception, I just knock everything over, I drop things. I mean, you don't want someone like that working in like a Bed Bath & Beyond, just knocking over 10 million things a minute. I make more work for myself just by trying to clean my room. I make it worse. And I would love to live a normal life, but I don't know what that is. So yeah, I look into how disabled people used to try to make a living, how disabled people made it in the world before Social Security disability, and it's just, we didn't. So yeah, I try to keep my spirits up, but I also want to be real about things. That's why I posted a video stating, why can't I just die? Because that's the sort of thing that can go through your head very easily when you feel like you don't have a quality of life and you have no potential to increase your quality of life. I don't actually want to die. I'm not actually suicidal. I just feel like I don't have the opportunity to live, so why am I here?